All right, so I'm going to go over the solution of sample exam number 1. I have uploaded this solution, but then I want to go over each problem step by step so you guys know how they work. So problem number 1, the following frequency distribution analyzes the scores on a math test. Find the indicated midpoint or boundaries. One thing I want you to be careful, it says midpoint or boundaries. So look at the answers, and I saw 4, and they want it for this class, 95 to 99. So when I looked at the answer, we know 94.5 and 99.5 are the class boundaries. So in this case, you're given in the answers the class boundaries. And I calculated the class midpoint for 95 and 99 is 95 plus 99 divided by 2, and it's 97, but it's not in the answers. So we only have the boundaries, therefore B is the answer for this. This is pretty simple. Next one, it says construct the frequency distribution that corresponds to the given frequency distribution. The actually not frequency, the relative frequency. One thing I want you to know, relative frequency are the percentages. So the way you find that for each class, the sum of frequencies, if you add all these numbers, is 327. So for the first one, you take 75 divided by 327 and you multiply it by 100. That's 22.9%. Second one is 51 divided by 327 times 100. That's 15.6%. Third one is 95 divided by 327 times 100, and that's 29.05%. Then we have 92 divided by 327 times 100 is 28.13%. And finally, you can do it for 14. 14 divided by 327 times 100 is 4.28%. And the answer is C. Next, please, when you take the test, make sure to write this bold to read that part, the first part. Write the word or phrase that best completes the statement or the answers the question or answers the questions. So let's see. In a survey of 26 voters, we were asked their ages. The results shown below. So we have the result. Construct a histogram. So with 5 classes with a lower class limit of 19.5. I just want you to know that 19.5 for a histogram, even if it says lower class limit, is the class boundary. So the way you can start with 19.5, and we have 5 classes. So the next one is going to be 29.5, 39.5, 49.5, 59.5, and 69.5. Between 19.5 and 29.5, we have 2 numbers. So, and here I put it, and I colored them. So if you can just take a look at the answers and see, 19.5 to 29.5, one of them is 28 and the other one is 21. So I colored all those numbers so it's easy for you. Between 29.5 and 39.5, we have 4 numbers. So if you pick one of them, then you can see the rest. Let's say 32. So these are all this almost the red colors. So 4 of them, and so on. Then you can have a scale here, and once you find these numbers, you know they go from 2 to 8. So the scale is from 2 to 10, and you can easily make the histogram. Number 4, choose the one alternative that best completes the statement or answers the question. Find the mean By now everybody knows how to find the mean is sum of x's over n, or you can use your calculator by using put all the numbers in L1 and you can do one word stats. And the answer, if you do that, is C. Next one, it says find the median. The way you find the median, you write the numbers in ascending order, so which is given. And the position of the median, we know it's n plus 1 divided by 2. If you do that, n is 7 because we have 7 numbers in the data. So it's 8 divided by 2 is 4. And for this formula, you just take that fourth number, and it's 44. So the answer is C. Number 6, find the mode. Mode is the most repeated number. That's pretty straightforward. So the most repeated number is 21 in this data. And I highlighted them here. Now the mid-range. So the mid-range is the highest value plus the lowest value divided by 2. A simple formula. The highest value in the data is 49. The lowest value, no, the highest value is 74. The lowest value is 49. You add them, you divide by 2 is 61.5. So C is the answer. So here, this is a group data. You want to find the mean. It says here. So the formula for the mean is sum of f times x divided by n. Sum of f times x. X's are the class midpoints. So that x is 50 plus 59 divided by 2, and it's 54.5. And so on. You find all the x's. Here you take that times the frequency, and you get all these numbers. So you add them, and it's 3090. Divide by 40, which is sum of the frequencies, and it's 77.3. So B is the answer for this one. Or you can use your calculator. Put x's in L1, frequencies in L2, and just do one word stats. Don't forget to put L2 in the frequency list. Number 9, Jean currently is taking college economics. So, and don't forget to read that, find the range. So the instructor often gives quizzes on the past 5 quizzes. These are the scores, find the range. And the range, the formula for the range is highest value minus the lowest value. So it's 16 minus 3, which is 13. So this is pretty easy too. So you can write those formulas for the mid-range and the range and use it during the test. Number 10, find the variance. So let's go over this. First thing I want you to know, the variance is standard deviation squared. The way you find the standard deviation, this is the formula. You can use this formula, or you can use your calculators. I did do the hand calculations for you. So now if you want to find the variance is s squared. So that means that squared. If you square that, square and square root, they cancel, and you're just left with this expression. So this is the variance. Sum of x's is 22. Sum of x's squared. This is a small data. You can do the hand calculation. So you get 124.02. Then you substitute. N is 5 because we have 5 numbers in the data. And you substitute, and you get 6.805. Or use your calculator. But the calculator doesn't give you the variance. The calculator gives you S. You find S and square it. Square that number, and you're going to get the answer. So let's check the answer. The answer is D. Don't do number 11. So number 11, I took it out. Number 12, the mean of a set of data is 3.77 and the standard deviation is 3.39. Find the z-score. The z-score, that's the formula. X minus x bar over s. X is 6.19 minus the mean, which is 3.77 divided by 3.39, and that's 0.71. The z-score corresponding to the given value, no, find the z-score corresponding to the given value and use the z-score to determine whether the value is unusual. It gives you the explanation. If the z-score is less than -2 or greater than 2, then that number is unusual. So if you find the z-score, x is x minus x bar over s, x is 96.8 minus 98.2 divided by 0.62, and you get -2.25, and that's less than -2. Therefore, that means therefore it's unusual. So A is the answer. Number 14, I want you to be careful with this problem because it was wrong. So find the percentile of the data, 0.6. First, you write just like we did in class. You write the numbers in ascending order. So then you pick the first 6. The formula is number of values before x, which is before 6, and over n times 100. Here we have 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not include 6. So number of values before that, so it's 6 over 20 times 100, and you get 30. So cross all the answers. The answer for this problem is P30 equals to 6. Number 15, use the given sample data to find Q3. Q3, well, don't forget, always write the data in ascending order. So that's what I did. Put the numbers below. Then Q3 is the same thing as P75. So it's the location is 75 divided by 100, the percentage, times n. N is 8. And you get 6. 6 is a whole number in this case. So you take the average of the 6th number and the 7th number. Average means you take the 6th number plus the 7th number and you divide it by 2, and the answer is 61. Don't change that number. Don't round it. Whatever you get, just write it. So Q3 is 61. Number 16, a sample space consists of 13 separate events that are equally likely. Equally likely, that means they have the same probability. So what is the probability of each one? We have 13 numbers equally likely, so the probability is going to be 1 over 13. So I wrote it here. P of each event is 1 over 13. Number 17. A bag contains 2 red marbles, 3 blue marbles, 5 green marbles. If a marble is randomly selected from the bag, what is the probability that it's blue? Let's take a look at the solution. 2 red, 3 blue, 5 green. Total we have 10 marbles. P of blue is going to be 3 out of 10. That's pretty straightforward. So the answer is A. Number 18, if a person is randomly selected, find the probability that his or her birthday is in May. Ignore the leap years. Make sure don't pick 1 over 12 because you pick number of days, and May is 31 days, so it's 31 out of 365. So A is the answer. and I put May has 31 days. Which of the following cannot be a probability? We said a probability is a number between 0 and 1, including 0 and including 1, so it cannot be negative. So here, -1 is not the answer. Half is between 0, 1, 0 is okay, 1 is okay, but you can never have a negative probability. So, and I put the explanation here for you. If a person, find the indicated probability. Number 20, if a person is randomly selected, find the probability that his or her birthday is not in May. So let's look at solution. The probability of a birthday not being in May is the same thing as 1 minus probability that the person was born in May. And May is 31 days again. So it's going to be 1 minus 31 out of 365. So 1, then you can write that as 365 over 365 minus 31 over 365. So the answer is 334 over 365. And the answer is right here. Number 21. A card is drawn from a well-shuffled deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of drawing a face card or a 4. Or is union. Face or 4 is probability of face, plus probability of 4 minus the probability of face and 4. Let's see what these are. There are 12 face cards in one deck of cards. Please check the cards and make sure you know this. P of 4, there are 4 fours in one deck of cards, minus a card cannot be face and 4 at the same time, so this is 0. So the answer is 16 out of 52 or 4 over 13, which is C. Number 22, an unprepared student makes random guesses for a 10 true or false questions on a quiz. Find the probability that there is at least one correct answer. Be very careful, at least one correct answer. You need to know this. P of at least one always is the same thing as 1 minus P of none. P of at least one correct answer is 1 minus P of no correct answers. So correct stands for C, and then I put false stands for F. So it's going to be 1. All the answers are false, so that's only one outcome from the sample space. So it's 1 minus 1 over 1024 is 1023 out of 1024. Now to make this easy for you and understand, I put some notes here. Whenever you have two category events are like tossing a coin, heads and tails, true, false, female, male. So these are always two categories. So then I put like tossing a coin. Now, the number of outcomes when you have two categories in the sample space, the formula for that is 2 to the n. So this is number of outcomes in the sample space. So let's look at it. In this case, we have 10 questions. 10 questions, that means we're gonna have 2 to the power of 10 outcomes in the sample space, and that's 1024. It's like tossing a coin 10 times. Tossing a coin 10 times, we're gonna have 1024 outcomes. How they are gonna be, it's like gonna be H, 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 H 10 times. The second one is gonna be H, T, H, 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 and we're gonna have 10 of those. And it's gonna continue. And if you write this, it's very, very long. You have to write 1024 of those. But I just want you to know this, only one of them has all 10 heads. So when you say P of at least one tail, that's 1 minus P of no tails. That means 1 minus this outcome, all heads. So it's 1 minus 1 over 1024, which you're gonna get that. Our problem works exactly the same way, but instead of true heads and tails, what we have is correct or false. That's why you can use that. And remember, in this type of problem, for the first example, when you hear at least one, just do 1 minus none. Let's check the next problem. A sample of 4 calculators are randomly selected from a group containing 15 that are defective and 30 have no defects. What is the probability of at least, we got that again, 1 calculator is defective. At least 1 defective means 1 minus no defects. So what I did, I put 15 defectives and 30 good. So at least 1 is 1 minus none. Here, at least 1 defective is 1 minus no defects, or 1 minus all goods. Oh, I wrote it here. So now what can happen? Let's see, I want, when I pick 4 calculators, here there is no replacement. I want all 4 calculators to be good calculators. So the probability of the first one to be good, let's go back here, is 30 out of 45, but that's gone. 44 of them are left. The probability of the second one to be good is 29 out of 44. The probability of the third one to be good is 28 out of 44. And finally, the last one is 27 out of 42. P of at least 1 defective is 1 minus all that. And if you use your calculators, you get 0.816. And the answer is C. Number 24 is a table. When you get a table like this, sometimes the totals are given, sometimes they're not. If they're not, find the totals. 39 is 33 plus 6. 48 is 43 plus 5. And 76 are 33 plus 43, and 11 is 5 plus 6. And if you add there all of them, you get 87. So, and it's right here. If one of the 87 flights is randomly selected, find the probability that the flight selected arrived on time. On time, it's right here. So it's just going to be 76 out of 87. Now for this problem, I took a couple of notes because you can have questions like this on the exam with a table. the probability that the flight is on time or upstate airline. When you hear a question like this, use the formula, the addition formula. Probability of on time or upstate is probability of on time plus probability of upstate minus probability of on time and upstate. And you find these informations from the table. On time is 76 out of 87. Upstate is 48 out of 87. Minus on time and upstate is 43 out of 87. So you use the formula and this is the answer. Read the information from the table. Note 2 is another type of problem. You can see this question. Probability that the flight is on time given is upstate airlines. The formula for that is probability that flight is on time and or intersecting with upstate over probability of upstate. Read those from the table. On time and upstate, let's go find it. It's right here. 43 on time and upstate is over 87. So the top is 43 over 87. And the probability of upstate is 48 out of 87. So 48 out of 87. 87's canceled, you're left with 48 out of 43 out of 48. So these are three types of questions you can have with a table. This is a two-way table. It's called a two-way table. So these are the three types of questions you can have. I added the last two. Number 25, find the probability of correctly answering the first two questions on a multiple choice test if random guesses are made and each question has three answers. First of all, three answers, that means what we want is the first one to be correct and the second one to be correct. So these are independent events. So you take the first one correct times the second one correct. So these are out of three. So three possible answers. So it's 1 over 3 times 1 over 3, which is 1 over 9. So A is the answer. Number 26, a bin contains 75 light bulbs, which 9 are defective and 9 are defective. So 6 light bulbs are randomly selected from the bin. Find the probability that all selected bulbs are good. With replacement, be very careful with this word, that's the key word. So we want, let's take a look at this, guys. So what we have, 75 light bulbs, 9 are defective. So we have 9 defective, 75, 71 minus 9 is 62 are good. We want all 6 of them to be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's without replacement. So the probabilities don't change. For each one of them, it's going to be 62 over 71, and you multiply them 6 times, or 62 over 71 to the 6th power. And if you do that, you get 0.443, and the answer is C. Number 27, a sample of 4 different calculators is randomly selected from a group containing 16 that are defective and 34 have no defects. What is the probability that at least one, we got that again, at least one is 1 minus none. So we have 16 defective, 35 good. P of at least one defective is 1 minus P that all of them are good. So it's 1 minus, this is just like the other problem. And there is no replacement, so you have to be careful. So we want all of them good first good is 35 out of the sum, which is 51. Second one is going to be 34 out of 50, 33 out of 49, 32 out of 48. And use your calculator. If you do that, you get 0.790, and the answer is D. I put some notes for the exam. You can also have calculate the standard deviation of a group data. So check your notes, and I think you have that on the homework. You can have combination and permutations. So make sure to review your homework and the quizzes and whatever I did in class. So this might be on the test. So the formula for a group data, the standard deviation is this. I put it for you. You can use that. So, and here is a couple of examples with combination and permutation. A game has 10 numbers. To win the game, you need to write 3 numbers that will match the 3 picked from the 10 numbers. Find the probability of winning. When you just have to pick 3 numbers, the order is not important. If the order is not important, then that's combination. Combination of 10, 3. It's 120 probability of winning. You only have one of those. It's 1 out of 120. And I put order is not important. Second example, 10 horses are racing. To win the game, you need to pick 3 horses and the winning place. So the winning places are first, second, and third. Here it mentions the places. So you have to like horse 1, horse 2, horse 3, but we don't know which one is going to be first, second, or third. So order is important here. This is permutation, and I put order is important. So we have to choose and arrange. When you choose and arrange, then that is permutation. Find the probability of winning. So the number of outcomes, again, if in the sample space is P, 10, 3, if you do that, you get 720. P of winning is 1 out of 720. So, and the way we did this in class, if we have a set of 3 numbers, write all possible 2-letter words. We wrote it. Now, so then I picked A, B, B, A, C, C, A, and B, C, C, B. So this is permutation because order is important. You get 6 possibilities. If I say what's the probability that I pick A, B, is 1 out of 6. So these are just examples I did for some students, and we have done all this in class, so you can take a look at them basically, and type of problems you're going to have on the exam. So I'm going to upload this recording and study hard, and see you guys soon. I will end the meeting now.